Do it.
All right. Look at Paul. He dressed up nicely for us. Paul, this is going to be recorded. So even though we have a handful on the call, um, I accidentally scheduled this on top of a business planning seminar.
All right.
And I encourage everyone to come to you. And
Yeah.
some are here and some are there, and some are hopefully generating leads on their own right in this moment. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a quick introduction to Paul, who I've known for a number of years. Paul was when I was team leader, Paul was like my favorite go-to guy, because as I'm walking recruits around the office and showing them, we got these people working from the office, and we got this team doing this and this team doing that, and this is how much fun we have and all that. Paul was just the most energetic person in the entire office. I don't know if you were always this way, Paul, but you certainly became a systems guy when you came to KW. And on the team that you were on, everything was so, when we do this, and then we do this, and then this happens, and this happens, and this happens. So I want you to speak to that just for a minute before you get started. But Paul has amassed an incredible amount of skill on the telephone, and probably plenty of other places too, I'm sure. But today we're going to stick to the real estate prospecting skill that you have. And I'd really like for this to be interactive. So Paul's going to play the agent. Paul is more than happy to kind of role play a appointment. I think we'll probably spend more time today excuse me, hang on. Role playing getting the appointment, right? Your time on the telephone.
Absolutely.
And we also want to let's throw every objection that we've ever heard or ever had trouble with.
Let's do it.
Paul today.
Let's do it.
Paul's gonna handle the objection like a master, and get your notes ready. Paul, why don't you take just 1 minute to give us the story of your journey to where we are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I was selling windows at the time, right before I got into real estate, and I just got my license, and I was interviewing with Tim Hardiman, and joined his team. And like you said, it was very it was very what's the word? I was gonna say systematical. I don't even know if that's a word, but you guys know what I mean. Yes, very systematized. There was a process to everything and a reason to everything. And that being on that team helped me become the person I am today. And the people as well here, Bill being one of those big people that helped me become the person I am today. But was on his team for about 9 months. I was cold calling Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I probably made over 300,000 calls by now. And that's what I'm
300,000 calls.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Easy. Yeah. I used to make 1,000 calls a day, and I did that for a long time. So, and now I'm flipping real estate full time, and that's where I'm at now. But just to give you a very quick story.
Beautiful. So, talk to us a little bit about the mindset that you have in terms of your calls. We actually had a really interesting dialogue a couple of days ago, and Ebony, can I share this? Okay, so we were talking about approaching a FSBO, and I've been teaching them, hey, just read the script, right?
Yeah.
Say the script, and when they say what they say, you just go right back to the script, right? And she says, what about being empathetic a little bit, right? When you before you like launch right in. And I told her, I don't know, I'd love to hear your opinion on this, but I told her, I said, look, reading the script and making the call is being empathetic. There's a lot of bad agents out there, right? And you're not calling a FSBO to see how their morning is going. You're calling a FSBO to get an appointment, right? So let's just go straight for it, right? And the tone you use and the questions you ask, that is your display of empathy. Because if it's not you that gets in front of them, there's a good chance they could get taken advantage of otherwise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with both. I agree with with you saying that using the script and calling them as empathetic. And then I also agree. I haven't heard Ebony, her opinion on how she wanted to be empathetic, but I'm assuming it's being a little bit more like considerate of them on the phone call. I agree with both. Absolutely.
So let's pretend, Paul, like you have, like your 15 minutes of fame, although I'm sure you'll probably end up with more than that. And you have an opportunity to tell the agent population the mindset they should have as they get into the business, particularly around prospecting and lead generation. What would you say? What advice do you have?
I would say it's all mindset. It's 100% mindset. The mindset I had when I first started this career is completely different from the mindset that I have now, and I'm doing the exact same thing, yet I'm getting vastly different results. So I was making the calls day one, and I'm making the calls 4 years later, and the results are quite different. But I'm doing the exact same thing, and the big reason for that is the mindset shift. I really think that you just have to come in it with a mindset that your effort will never expire. Like if you could look at it and say, okay, I'm willing to do it for this long, then in my mind, you've already failed. You have to have a starting point, but you should never have an ending point. I mean, of course, like you want to retire later on, but in terms of like, I'm willing to do this without fail and not see any results forever. Like I'm willing to die on the phones and no one sell their house with me. That's the mindset I had. And it was go home or go big. And I just decided to go big. So
what would you say the biggest difference is between your mindset or your attitude on day one versus where you sit today?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because you said you're completely different. You have a completely different mindset. Can you pinpoint anything in particular that's like vastly different?
Being okay with everything. When I first started, I just wasn't okay. I wasn't okay that I wasn't amazing on the phones. I wasn't okay that I didn't have 18 appointments scheduled. I wasn't okay that I didn't know who to call or I didn't know what to say. I'm perfectly okay with not being okay now. Like I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with, I don't know what to do in this situation. As before, I wouldn't go into it. And now I'll go into it faithfully, not knowing what I'm doing, but knowing that me going into it is more important than me knowing what to do. Like just that decision of, okay, I'm going to do this, even though that I don't know how to do it. Like I'm okay with that now. It's very rare because I have everyone here. But just not getting into that mood of analysis paralysis. And I mean, because that's a big one. That's a big one that I see for a lot of agents, a lot of newer agents. They just get so into their heads and it destroys them.
Yeah. So I tell you, you've probably noticed that Paul is wearing a suit today. And I just have a question for you, and please correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
But your day today is going to be hopping over to Smoothie King, come into the office, locking the door of your office and getting on the phone where no one's going to be able to see what you look like.
Yeah.
And if you happen to go to a job site, like wearing a suit would probably be a little strange on like a flipping job site, right? So
Absolutely.
the average person might say, why in the world do you dress like you dress?
Yeah.
During the course of an average day? Speak to that for me.
Yeah. Self-image is huge. How you see yourself internally, and how you talk to yourself internally has the biggest impact on your career, in my opinion. So me putting on a suit, I feel like a completely different person on the phones. I've tried calling on the phones at home in pajamas at 8 o'clock in the morning, wearing some sweats and like a little shirt and a cup of coffee. And I do not have the same energy. I do not have the same self-image of myself as I do when I'm at the office with a suit on. And you just carry yourself differently. I literally just feel like I'm putting on like I guess a good example would be like Bruce Wayne and when he turns into Batman. He's a completely different person when he has the bat suit on. Completely different person. And that's just how I feel. I feel like I'm ready to fight some crime when I put the suit on. So
right. It's like your I've heard somebody say it's like your uniform, right? Like let's say you're going to be a waiter or you're going to work at a gym or something. Like you put on a work uniform. Like this is your work uniform. And when it's
Yeah.
on, you feel like a different person. You know you're there for a specific reason. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of our agents in our group that, especially with COVID and everything, they're working from home. And so they're kind of working in their pajamas or whatever. And, you know, or they're working in their workout outfit. And sometimes I'll just be like, you got to stop that. You got to put on some work clothes.
Right.
Because it's going to make you feel different.
It is. You could not be more right. It's like a pregame ritual. It's just something you do to get into the state of getting ready to make the calls or go door knocking or whatever you're going to do.
All right. I got one or two more questions and we'll jump right in. Okay. Scripts. What's the deal with scripts? Why are they so important? And did you ever make calls before you embraced scripts?
No. So I was very lucky to start this business off with a coach, and he put this in my head. A script, and I want to make a note on this. It doesn't matter what script you're using. Some people love Mike Ferry. Some people love Kevin Ward. Some people love Tom Ferry. Some people love whoever it is. There's no silver bullet. I want to make a huge emphasis on that. I was a big chaser of the silver bullet when I first got into the business. Like, oh, this person's saying this, that's why they're getting this many deals, or this person's saying this, that's why they're getting this many deals. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, a script is for a newer person who's never been in real estate to understand that you are to get this person from A to B to C to D to E and so on. It is a guide. It is a map. And that's what it's for. So if you had someone new come into the business and you said, hey, get an appointment with this person, good luck, and you didn't give them anything, they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know what to ask them. And you gave someone, same situation, but you gave someone a script, they're going to be much better off because they have a map. They have a guideline to follow. They have a protocol, a process that they can focus on. Like, okay, I need to ask them what, I need to ask them when, I need to ask them where, why. And then through gathering all that information, you can then set the appointment. So that's what it is. So I am a big person for scripts.
Okay. And how did you learn them?
That's a good question. So on Tim's team, we screamed them every single, absolutely screamed them from 7:30 to 8. I didn't have a voice. So I'd literally be making cold calls like
we're literally talking about screaming. I'm trying to do stuff in my office on the other side of the entire building. And I'm like, damn, those guys are so loud.
Yeah.
He's literally meaning screaming.
Yeah, we literally lost our voice. I couldn't call for about an hour and a half one day because I actually lost my voice. And just breaking the pattern. So some mornings we would laugh them. We would get into hysterical laughter and just be on the ground, like crawling and screaming out the script while laughing. And it was a good pattern breaker. And it got us out of the mundane mindset of like, oh, we got to make phone calls. And then you're around 4 people in suits and we're screaming and we're laughing. And it just completely took your mind away from the fact that you're about to call people for like 8 hours, which I have a blast doing. Some people don't, but I love it.
Why do you love it so much?
I think I just love people. I get really depressed when I don't have like human interaction. So during the beginning of quarantine, I was inside for 3 days, just me and my roommate, and I was actually going crazy. I was losing my mind. I felt depressed. I felt lost. I was like, I need some human interaction. I need to go like see another person face to face. So I was like, let me just go to the grocery store and talk to like the cash register for like 10 minutes. Not the cash register, but the, you know what I mean? The person who runs it. And I was like, I need to talk to you, man. I haven't seen someone in like 3 days. And I think that's like a deep rooted thing. I think that comes from like our biology, our DNA, that we're social beings. Like people will say, I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. I think that's just a label you're putting on yourself. I think we're all born to have like human interaction. I think isolation can be very bad for the brain. So
it's interesting that you mentioned introvert and extrovert, because it kind of gave me a thought, which is a lot of times we put these labels on ourselves to excuse a bad habit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, oh, I'm not a high S or a high C,
right.
And therefore it's okay if I don't have systems or care about people, right? Yep. I'm an introvert, so I don't have to go out and speak to people. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to, but you're in the sales business. So
Yeah.
if you're not going to speak to people, I'm not
You're
sure
in trouble.
how this is going to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough chit chat.
All right.
Does everyone feel like they know Paul? Any questions about him?
Yeah. Any questions, please? Open to any questions.
How long was before you felt like you were comfortable with your scripts? Like, what was the time frame on that? I feel like I study them a lot. I put them to use. I do a good job. I can do more, but I'm just not there with my comfort level, and I think that sometimes it may reflect on the phone. So, like, advice on that, and it's just like, when do you get over that threshold of just being confident and knowing that you got this?
Absolutely. That's actually a phenomenal question. I didn't even think about this. I want to let everyone know that when I first started cold calling, I was absolutely terrified. I would have like jumped off a bridge than get on the phone and pick up the phone and talk to somebody. I was not always like this. But in terms of getting comfortable with the script, I'd say a couple of months. I'd say anywhere between 1 to 3 months, but I don't want to put a time frame on it because volume is important here. So it can take someone 6 months if they're only calling 10 people a day. I was calling 1,000 people a day. Like I was on the phones from 8 to 5. So you're gonna learn the script pretty quickly if you're practicing it for 30 minutes before you cold call and then cold call for 8 hours. So if you do the same regimen I did, where from 7:30 to 8 you're role playing, and then from 8 to 5 you're cold calling, you're going to have that script down in like a week. Like it's going to be embedded in your brain. You're just going to start saying it like when you wake up in the morning, like this is like automatic. So I would look at volume here. I wouldn't look at time. I would just try to crank out as many calls as you possibly can. And you're going to learn many things from this. You're going to learn what works, what doesn't work. And you're going to learn the responses that you're getting and how to tailor that to the calls you're making. So it's really hard for me to tell someone, like I'll have people say, man, I'm not saying this on the phone, or they're saying this, or this isn't working. It's like, I won't know until I'm in the room and I hear what you're saying and I hear what the person is saying as well to be able to like coach you. But in terms of getting it down, I'd say about, I'd say a week of just calling 1,000 calls a day. But if let's say 100 calls a day, I would just 10x it. So it's because it's 10 times less. So if it takes you like a week, I'd say 10 weeks if you're making 100 calls a day to get it down.
Yeah. And you were using a dialer, right? A triple line dialer?
Yeah. Triple line dialer, 1,000 people a day. I'm a big proponent of that. Volume. You guys need to call. Like it's not gonna do you any harm. Like you're gonna get really good on the phones. You're gonna get a lot of leads. You're gonna get a lot of appointments. I was terrified of it. I know all the emotions you guys are going through, like the deep, immense fear, the embarrassment, any emotions and negative thoughts you guys are having. I had them. I still get them sometimes.
Have you ever like been at the grocery store or something and bumped into somebody that you cold called and they like laughed at you for being dumb on the phone?
No, but
like,
you believe that will happen.
300,000 calls.
Yeah.
And you've never met anybody that you spoke to that was nasty in your face.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So,
and by the way, I think you could probably speak to the volume, but when you were the lead ISA for Hardiman, Tim was doing like 100 deals a year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is, I'm not saying a lot of you guys have goals to sell 100 homes a year, which by the way, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have a great life. It just means you own and operate an organization that spits out that type of volume, right? But that's, if you want a big business, you got to have a lot of leads. Leads is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Leads is the name of the game. Paul, you are probably dying to get started.
I am.
First thought of your head, who should we role play? What kind of topic should it be?
I want to make a note before we get into it. Okay. It's really important to work on your mindset. A lot of people want to know, oh, well, they said this. I didn't know what to say here, or they said this. I didn't know what to say here. I can tell you guys to say whatever, but if you don't have the right mindset, Because I can role play now with people. And if I'm just in the right mindset, I can come up with the right answer. I don't need a script or anything like that. So you need to get into the mindset that no matter what they say, it doesn't matter. Like you guys, I had this problem too. I was like, oh, I need this script, or I need this script, or I need that, or I need this. You just need the right mindset, and then you're going to become unstoppable on the phone. So it doesn't matter who you're calling or what you're saying or anything like that. If you're in the right mindset, they can't stop you. So.
Give me a little bit of an example. Go a little deeper with me on that. Like, what does that mean exactly? Like, give me an example of something that would come across your plate that if you're in the right mindset, it wouldn't bother you, and if you weren't, you might be stumped.
Yeah, because I used to get stumped a lot on the phones, and there's some days I still do. Where it's like, oh dang, they got me. Like I didn't have anything to say to that. It's really important to remove like the emotional charge from that. That's what I mean in terms of like the mindset. Like there's just nothing someone can say or do to me on the phones that's going to make me stop. Right. So like I just spoke with Rose, and this is super important. This is also a little ninja technique for everyone in this call right now. And this is going to be worth it right here. She had someone, you were just, what's that?
This was free.
Yeah, this was free. You were in here, Bill. She just got cussed out on the phones. Okay. And that's happened to me a lot. And she was okay with it. But here's like a secret little hidden technique is, if you're on the phones and something bad happens to you, if they hang up or if they cuss at you, if the result that you desired did not happen and it's like traumatizing or anything like that, laugh. I know it sounds crazy, but laugh. Laughing unconsciously like removes the emotional attachment to whatever negative experience you just had. So you don't even have to use this on the phones. You guys can use this out in real life. That if something traumatic happens in your life and you just force yourself to laugh, like, or whatever, like, if you just laugh, it's going to remove the emotional charge that it had on you. And the effect is not going to be as powerful as it was. Because there would be days where someone would cuss at me and I would stop calling. Like I was like, I'm done. I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. And as soon as I learned this trick, it changed everything for me. So don't be like the Joker. Don't just like be sitting somewhere and start laughing and people are going to think you're crazy or something. But if something bad happens to you on the phones, just hang up and just start forcing yourself to laugh, and you will find yourself moving through like immovable mountains that you just thought you could never climb or get through like easily. So I just want to say that.
It's funny that you talk about laughing, because before you said that, I was thinking to myself, like, if somebody stumps you, I could see you just like busting out into like a crazy laughter and be like, bro, you got me. I don't even know what to say to that. Try me again. And you would just have so much fun with it. And I think that's what a lot of agents miss, is that they don't have fun. Mm-hmm. They look, this is a stressful job. If you're not going to have fun, it's going to be even more stressful. Right. Yeah. All right. Now we got the right mindset. We're prepared to laugh. What topic should we start with?
Me?
Yeah.
Like, are we doing cold calls? What are we?
Yeah, let's do some cold calls. Let's do some role play. Let's start with Heather. You're going to be the person receiving the call, and Paul is going to be the person making the call. Paul, what topic do you want to cover today?
We can do anything really. I'm a big fan of circle prospecting, but they might not like learn a lot from this. But it's Ricky Carruth. I'm a big fan of his circle prospecting method, where you're just reaching out to build a relationship. There's not much you can really get stumped on there. So I don't. All right,
we're going to do a lot today. So why don't we start with that one?
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to call you, Heather, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Ring, ring.
Hello?
I'm looking for Heather. Is this Heather?
Yeah, this is Heather.
Hey, Heather. This is Paul Tully with Keller Williams. How are you today?
Hi, Paul. I'm pretty good. How about you?
I am amazing. I'm enjoying this weather. It's a bit cold out, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty cold.
Yeah. Well, look, Heather, I didn't want to take up too much of your time today, but there was a house right up the road from you that just sold in 4 days. So I wanted to give you a quick call and see if there was anything in the world that I could help you out with.
What do you mean help me out with what? I don't understand. With you being an agent, what I would need help with?
is there anything I can help you out with regarding buying or selling real estate at this time?
I'm not really looking to sell, but how come that house sold so fast? I don't even think there is a sign and it was already sold.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the market's super hot right now. And when you price a home to sell, it's going to do just that. Well, look, Heather, before we go, if you were to buy or sell, is there an agent in the area that you would use?
I don't know. I have a couple of friends that are realtors, my cousin, but I mean, I don't know. Hadn't thought about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, here's what I want to do. I want to see if it's okay if I stay in touch with you. I call you once a month. I want to build a relationship so that when the time does come, because the time will come, this is life, things happen, that you have an agent who's in your corner ready to fight for you. So I just want to stay in touch with you, give you a call and reach out to you. Is that okay?
Yeah. I think that would be good.
Perfect. Well, Heather, it was so nice talking to you. I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Bye.
Okay, cool. So at some point you would have confirmed her contact information, presumably.
For sure. Yeah. I would have got the email or phone number or whatnot. I was just giving them like the basis. I actually recommend people circle prospect. I think it's like a hidden form of prospecting. People are blowing up expireds, withdrawals for sale by owners. No one's calling like just regular homeowners, like just people who have like no intention to sell right now, and building relationships with them. And when the time comes for them to sell, they're going to use you if you just reach out to them.
Right. And continue to reach out to them.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's the key, actually. Not just reaching out to them, but continuing to reach out to them.
Okay, perfect. Do you want to cover any more things that might pop up in a circle prospecting call?
There's not really much. I don't think that was a great example. I probably shouldn't have used that. It's more so like in the expireds and the withdrawals and the for sale by owners, the super high intense calls. Those are the ones where people are going to get like stumped and they're afraid to call. There's like no tension on like a circle prospecting call. They're not getting blown up. They're not like oversaturated leads. They're just super happy, normal people. So you're not really going to get like a lot of resistance from them.
All right. Well, you talked about volume earlier. Let's try to create just a lot of volume and responses and interactions. So okay. Heather, your home just came off the market as an expired listing, and Paul, you want it.
Perfect. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Heather, this is Paul. Oh, excuse me. I just assumed I knew you might. Let's restart that.
That's
ring,
okay.
ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Heather?
This is Heather, yeah.
Hey, Heather, this is Paul Tully with Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm pretty good.
Good. I noticed your home just came off the market, and I was calling to see when you were planning on hiring an agent to get your property sold.
I don't know. We've used agents with other houses, but then we've also sold houses ourselves. So I think we're just going to kind of wait and see what happens with the market.
Okay. So you guys aren't going to sell right now. You guys are just going to wait it out?
I don't know. I mean, I guess if somebody, we're open to using buyers agents if they have a buyer that wants to come look at the house, they'd be able to do that.
Okay. So not selling right now, but you're open to a buyer's agent who has a buyer to buy your property.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to pause this. Here's a little technique is whatever they're saying, say it back, but also like whenever they're not giving you like a time frame, like, oh, we're not looking to sell, take what they just said and say right now. It's like an NLP technique that you're like putting in their brain, like, okay, we're not selling right now, but that means that we're not going to sell later. So she was like, yeah, we're not selling right now. And I said, or she said, we're not selling. And I said, we're not selling right now. She was like, yeah, she confirmed that. So that means that I now have her in her mind, not selling right now, but that means I can have her sell in a couple of weeks or months or something like that. And I also said what she said back. So we're going to get back into the call. But last thing you said was the buyer's agents. What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
That we'd be willing to sell if you had a buyer. That's what I get a lot on the phone is we're not on the market right now, but we're willing to sell if you have a buyer. So they are willing to sell.
Right. Yeah. That's good. That's good that you think of that. Yeah. So the next most important thing for you guys to do here is to get into the motivation ASAP. You have to, these calls are highly emotional and you're going to get shut down if you don't get into that ASAP. If you're sitting here just trying to like, oh, okay, it didn't sell, or like, even for me, that was a little bit too much for the introduction. I'm going to try to get into the motivation ASAP. So my next question, if you just said, hey, we don't have a buyer, or we're open to working with buyers agents who have us a buyer, I'll repeat that. Perfect. So you're open to working with buyer's agents who have a buyer for your home, correct?
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, Heather, if the home were to sell, where are you planning to move next?
We want to move to Florida to be closer to family.
You want to move to Florida to be closer to family. Excellent. Okay. So Heather, what's being close to family going to do for you?
It'll be help with the kids and just, you know, the family support.
Perfect. Perfect. So Heather, you're in Florida. You're close to your family, which is going to be much easier for your kids and you, because you're going to have family members that can look after your family, your kids, excuse me. What is all that going to do for you?
Probably just improve our happiness overall for me and the kids.
Oh, keep going.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying, I think it's probably the happiness and well-being of the kids and myself.
Perfect. So you're going to be happy. The well-being of your overall family is going to increase, and it's just going to be very peaceful, right?
Yeah, more convenient, more help with the kids.
More convenient, more helpful with the kids. That's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, perfect. So Heather, what do you think stopped your home from selling? I mean, it was on the market for 44 days. I don't see that you guys got any offers here. Did you guys receive any offers?
Not really. We had people, you know, see the sign and come by, and they'd come in and they'd say they liked the house, but then we never heard anything else from them.
Okay. So you had a couple of showings, but you didn't receive a lot of feedback as to why your home didn't sell.
Yeah, no, and nobody really wanted to leave their phone number. They would just say that we'll call you, but then they didn't.
Wow. Okay. Out of curiosity, how did you choose the last agent that you had?
I don't know. It was a coworker's friend of my husband's.
Coworker's friend of your husband's. Have you guys used him before, or was this the first time?
That was the first time.
That was the first time. Okay. Okay. And if you guys were to sell it, let's say you guys were to put it on the market next week, would you guys use him again, or would you guys be open to another realtor?
I think my husband would probably want to use him again, but I mean, I've been talking to you, so I mean, I think I could talk to my husband about you and see what he says.
Right, right. Well, look, Heather, here's what I want to do. I want to see when a good time would be for me to stop by for 15, 30 minutes and show you what I can do to sell your home. Are you still open to selling your home? It sounds like you are, right?
I mean, yeah, if we had somebody who wanted to, you know, come and buy the house, we'd be open, but we just kind of felt like with it, people coming and going and no offers, it wasn't going anywhere. And we were just kind of stuck.
Yeah, kind of just stuck in mud. Okay. Well, look, I'm going to be honest with you, Heather. Right now, I don't have a buyer for your home. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I do exactly what the previous agent did, but I just do it a little bit differently. How the home process works is I actually come by and I use my marketing plan and my action plan. And what that does is it attracts buyers. So if I've never done that with your home, I'm not going to have a buyer for it. So that's why I want to come by next Tuesday or Wednesday at 4:15, whatever day works better for you. I want to show you what I do to attract home buyers, because I don't have them just sitting in my pocket. I have to have a property first. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I don't think our other agent did that. I don't remember any type of plan or anything.
Yeah. Well, look, here's what we're going to do. Tuesday or Wednesday, which day works better for you next week at 4:15?
Probably Wednesday.
Okay. So Wednesday at 4:15, I'm going to give you a call the day before. I also want your husband's number because I want to speak to him and get him on the same page. And I'm going to stop by and show you guys exactly what I do to get your property sold, to attract the right buyer. And I want you to tell me what your previous agent did. So that way I can differentiate myself from him and show you exactly what I'm going to do differently to get your home sold. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll see you next weekend at 4, or next Wednesday at 4. So basically, this is a bit untraditional because I kind of took things out of place here with the questions on the script that I had in my mind. But the most important thing, like I said before, is you guys have to get them into their feelings. So I didn't use it perfectly, but the big thing to do, like a big question when you guys get stumped on these phone calls, especially with expireds and withdrawals, because they're super abrasive. Like they're not afraid to say, hey, F off, hang up, or do anything like that. So the biggest thing to do in these calls is keep the introduction short and get to their motivation quickly. And a good question for that is like, if this home had sold, where were you guys moving to? Or I don't like using the, why are you guys moving? It's a bit too forward. And they're like, what do you mean? Why are we moving? So there's different questions, but the main thing is finding that motivation and then just pinpointing on that. So if you guys were to move, where would you guys move to? Florida. Okay. What is bringing you guys to Florida? Family. Okay. And what's family going to do for you? Well, we're going to be closer to our family because they're going to take care of my kids because I'm a full-time teacher and sometimes I don't have the time to look after them. Okay. And what's that going to do for you? How's that going to make you feel? Man, that's going to make, and we're getting right into the emotion. Man, that's going to make me feel great. I'm going to feel relaxed because my grandparents are going to take care of my kids so I can work full time and I won't have to worry about them. How does that overall just make you feel? You sound relaxed as I'm talking to you. Yeah. I mean, it makes me feel great. I mean, I have more free time and blah, blah, blah. You have to get them into their emotions ASAP.
Love that. I love that. Yeah. And what I noticed, and I know the scripts really well as well. So I know that you were, you didn't ask the questions in like, what might be the right, necessarily the order.
The order.
Right?
Yeah.
But you knew them so well that they just seemed well placed. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Did anyone feel like Paul was being pushy or salesy?
No, not at all. But my question would be for people who are already abrasive, sometimes they don't allow you to get past that wall. Like I'm feeling when I'm calling people, it's just like I'll get to the first half of my script, but I didn't get to finish.
All right, cool. Let's play that out. Paul, you're calling Ebony. Ebony's home just expired. Ebony, be rude to him. Go.
Okay. And a note before I call you is a lot of business is not done in the first call. I want to like emphasize that because a lot of people think like if they didn't get them on the first call, they failed. That cannot be further from the truth. Sometimes you get them on the 8th call, the 7th call, the 10th call. So just because you didn't get the script done on the first call doesn't mean that you're not going to succeed with that lead. That just means that I'm going to call them tomorrow, or I'm going to call them in 2 days, or call them in 4 days or 5 days. And you're going to keep calling them because that's where like over 87% of business is done is like in like the 10th follow-up. But let's start. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello. Is this Ebony?
It is.
Hey, Ebony, this is Paul Tully with Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm okay. A little pressed for time, but how are you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm doing really good. I won't be long. I was giving you a quick call about a property of yours that just came off the market. And I wanted to see when you planned on getting it back on the market and getting it sold with another agent.
I don't know. Like the last agent didn't do what it was that I wanted him to do. So I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to pause on it for a little bit.
Kind of pause on it. I would probably do the exact same thing. If my home didn't sell, I probably would wait. Now, if you were to sell it again, would you use the same agent or would you go with a new one?
Maybe a new one.
Maybe a new one? Yeah, if it didn't work out, I'd probably go with the new one too. Now, look, Ebony, before we go, because I know you said you're pressed for time, I just want to know, because I'm going to call you tomorrow, if you were to sell this home, what was your next move? Where were you going after this?
I don't see why is that pertinent to this phone call?
Right. So I'm trying to pinpoint your motivation so I can find out exactly how I can help you. And knowing where you're going to move is really going to help me do my job. But look, if you don't have time right now, I will give you a call tomorrow. Is that a better time for you to talk?
Yeah, I think tomorrow would work way better.
Perfect. All right. Ebony, it was so nice talking to you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. So go ahead, Bill.
So first off, I want you to go right back into the role play, and when you ask, are you going to be using the same agent or a different agent? Ebony, say, I want to use the same agent.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Ebony?
It is.
Hey, Ebony, this is Paul Tully with Keller Williams. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. I was giving you a quick call because I noticed you had a property that just came off the market, and I wanted to see when your plan was hiring, I wanted to see when you planned on hiring another agent to get your property sold.
My home didn't sell the first time, but I think I'm going to stick with the agent. I think that they had something going, and maybe it was just a time issue. So I think I want to stay with who I'm already with. They know me. Okay, perfect. So Ebony, I have a question for you before we go. What do you think that agent is going to do differently now that they didn't do before? And I have a second question after you're done answering that. Well, hopefully they're going to sell my home. So that's number one. But I have an acquired taste. My personality is, it's acquired. And I just think that I'm comfortable, with someone who knows who I am, knows the moodiness, and I like things done really, really quickly. So although he did not get it done the first time, I'm gonna swing at the bats again. Hopefully he can get it this time. But I just think more effort needs to be put in.
Absolutely. So it sounds like to me that you are wanting to use this agent again, not because of his skills to sell your home, but because of the relationship that you guys have and that you guys are on the same page. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So my second question was, why do you think he's going to try something new now when he could have done it before? Why do you think that what he's going to do now, he didn't do the first time?
Well, I'm hoping that now that he has more knowledge about my property, what my expectations are, and we have a little bit more time, I'm hoping that changes something. I don't know, but I'm willing to just see it through.
See it through. Excellent. So it sounds like you have a good relationship with this agent. Is this agent a friend of yours, or how did you meet this agent?
It is a friend. It is most definitely a friend.
Okay, perfect. What was the agent's name, by the way? You can just make up a fake name here, obviously, because this is a role play. But what was the agent's name, by the way?
Abigail. Oh, I said it was a guy. Hold on.
It's okay. You can say Abigail. We'll go with Abigail. Perfect. So Abigail is the agent that you wanted to use again. You have a relationship with them. Oh, I had something good I was going to say. I just forgot it. Oh, what was I just going to sell? Oh, wait. What was I just going to tell you? Man, I had like the perfect...
We're going to talk about any type of... I loved how you said, by the way, so it wasn't necessarily because of their skill level. It was because you feel like you have an obligation to them.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing that I find a lot in the calls that I'm making. It's like, this person sold one home and they've had their license for like 8 years. Why are you going to use them? And it's like, she's my sister-in-law. Why wouldn't I use her? So a lot of these times, like, they have such a level of loyalty and a fear of betrayal that they'd rather list their home with someone that they have a good relationship with rather than someone that would sell their home successfully. And you kind of want to break it down. Again, you can't do it logically. These are not logical phone calls, because if they were, I could just say, hey, I'm the number one agent in town. When can I come sell your home? And it's like, that would work every time if it was logical. It's not. It's purely emotional. So you have to pinpoint the emotion as to why they're using that. So another question I would ask, Ebony, if we were going back to the call, would be, do you think that your friendship would be affected and he would feel betrayed if you used a different agent?
I do. Like, we are all in the same circle. So that is going to cause so many problems between the group of friends. And I want to be invited to the cabins next year. So...
Absolutely. Well, Ebony, I want to make a proposal. I would love to come meet with you and your agent. That's a very good friend of yours. And I would love to sit down with the both of you and show you why it would be a good idea for you to list your home, not just with him, but with me as well. That way you still have the friendship. You can still get invited to the cabin next year. And you also have a highly trained professional like myself who has sold many homes in a short amount of time for the most amount of money. So do you think that we could set up a meeting like that sometime next week? That way we're not cutting out your friend, but you're also getting me as well, someone who can absolutely 100% sell your home. And I'll show you exactly how I can do that. Is sometime next week, maybe like Thursday or Friday at 4:15 better for you?
That sounds amazing. But the only thing that I have with that is just like, what is that relationship going to look like with me and that person if they think that I need to bring someone in over them? Like, I think that it's a noble idea. And to me, like, I want to do it, but it's kind of like a slap in the face to them stating that, hey, you need somebody to oversee you selling my home because you can't do it. So that's the only apprehension that I'm having with you coming and you two meeting.
Absolutely. And that's why I want to meet with you guys next week, to sit down with both of you. That way I'm not meeting with you alone, so he doesn't find out and he feels cut out. That way I'm meeting with both of you. I can actually give him a call before I meet with you just to see if it's okay with him. And I want to explain to him because, Ebony, I've been in a situation where, I had something that needed to get done And I had a friend who said they could complete it for me. And, you know, at the end of the day, the job wasn't completed the way I wanted it to be completed. And since I didn't look around and look out for my best interest, I was the one who actually paid for the price. Have you ever had something like that happen to you? I mean, I don't want to, you know, talk bad about your friend, but it seems like you have with this, you know, recent, I was going to say failure of a home sale, but I don't want to say failure of a home sale. But this recent unsuccessful transaction of selling your home. Does that make sense?
It does.
It does.
It does. I like the way that you put that. It makes sense. That makes
Perfect.
sense.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't want to ruin your friendship with him. And I also don't want him to feel like you betrayed him. I just want to make sure that you're taken care of and that something like this doesn't happen again. Because let's talk hypothetically. If you were to list with him again and it doesn't sell, then what would you do?
Oh my gosh, the friendship would be over anyway.
So either way, if you do list with him again and it doesn't sell, now you don't have a home that's sold and you don't have a friend. That sounds like a loss to me, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. Perfect. So look, Ebony, this is what I want to do. I want to schedule a time with you and your friend. I'm going to give your friend a call before just to make sure it's not embarrassing when we meet and he's not, you know, super abrasive towards you and feels betrayed. I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to explain to him the call that we just had, and I'm going to ask him and show him my business plan and see if there are any differences and show him my track record and see if he's okay with that. Because at the end of the day, I think he might be feeling the same way you are. I think he might be feeling like, you know what? I didn't sell her home. She might not want to be my friend anymore. So I don't want him to feel that way, and I don't want you to feel that way. So I really feel like I could bring us together. I could get this home sold. You guys will still remain friends, and your home will be sold, and you'll be moving on to the next place that you want to move to. Does that sound like a win-win?
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan.
Right,
and then I would just go ahead.
Yeah.
I would just like that's a big one. So that's going to take a little bit more length on the phone, and they might not stay on the phone that long or anything like that. But that's how I would handle it 100%. Because I find that in phone calls, wherever I feel like there's something I'm afraid of, I need to bring that up immediately. Because the point of the cold call is not only to qualify them, but it's also to disqualify them. And I don't mean that in a negative manner, but I mean that like before when I would be on the phones, there would be certain things that we would have to ask them for them to be qualified as a lead. And it got to the point where I try to avoid certain questions so that they didn't disqualify themselves from being a lead. But at the end of the day, you want to disqualify these people as quick as possible so they're not wasting your time. Like I got into such a scarcity mindset that I have no leads. Let me just make someone who's not supposed to be a lead. Let me just make someone, oh, is there enough equity in the home for them to sell, for them to make money? Does it make sense for me to go sell their home? It didn't, but I was like, you know what? Let me make them a lead anyways. You want to disqualify them as well. So doing something like asking them questions that you might be afraid of is a really good thing to do. Like that. Like if they have a friend that's listing their home, you don't want to shy away from that. You want to bring that up ASAP. You want to bring that up immediately to find out whether is this a phone call I should still be on.
Right. It's not like they're going to forget they have a friend. You may as well just address it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love, Paul, how you do a lot of like, so it's not this, yet it's this. There's a lot of like comparison talk.
Yeah.
I really like that. One other thing I wanted to role play really quickly is, can we role play what that call would sound like? Let's say I'll be the other agent. Her friend, my listing just expired, and you call me and explain
that's
why
a really good
you're
idea.
Coming to the party.
Yes. So ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Bill?
It is.
Bill Linkwald. This is Paul Tully with Keller Williams Realty Consultants out of Roswell, Georgia. How are you?
Good. What's going on, Paul?
Good. Yeah. So I wanted to give you a call. I just did a cold call, an expired cold call. I came across Ebony, and she told me that you guys are amazing friends and that you were selling your home. Is that right?
Yeah. It didn't sell, but I think we're pretty good friends, and I'm trying really hard.
Absolutely. No, I believe you're trying really hard. And Bill, why I'm making this call is because I just got off the phone with Ebony, and she wants to sell her home, and she believes you can sell her home. And there's a little bit of a situation going on right now because she doesn't want to lose you as a friend. And I know you don't want to lose her as a friend. So I talked to her and I asked her if it's okay if I schedule a time to meet with both of you to see if there's anything I could do to help you guys sell the home. But I wanted to give you a call first and foremost before we do that, just to see if it's okay with you, because I definitely don't want to go meet with her and you, and there be some uncomfortable tension between you and her, and it makes the friendship awkward. I definitely don't want to do that. So I just wanted to call you and talk to you about my business plan, how many homes I've sold, what I can do to help you sell her home. Do you think you would be open to something like that? Or is that something, you know?
Like why would, like I can do it. Why does she need you?
Yeah. So a good question and a good question she brought up was, why would she use me if she's just going to use you again? And I asked her, you know, if there's something that I actually don't even know. I'm going to sound pretty abrasive right here. I'm okay with that, but I wouldn't do this for you guys. I was going to say, what do you plan on doing differently now that you didn't do before on getting her home sold?
I might try like another open house or two, and you know, maybe she'll let me push her down on the price a little bit.
Push her down on the price a little bit. I always think that's a good thing. If it didn't sell at a certain price and everything else was right, I always think reducing the price is the right way to go. Bill, I want to see if you're open to the amount of homes I've sold, what I can do, and at the end of the day, if we don't want to partner together, I definitely don't want you to not sell her home again. You probably wouldn't feel good if she used you again and you didn't sell her home again, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that might not be good on the friendship. That might make things a little bit ugly, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bill, I don't want that to happen. Okay. I understand you guys are good friends. So what I want to do is I want to show you my market plan. I want to show you my action plan and my business plan to get her home sold. And at the end of the day, look, if you guys are uncomfortable with me coming in, the last thing that you can take away is my business plan. If there's some differences between your plan and my plan, you can take what I do to sell homes and you can do that to sell her home. And if things still aren't working out, let's say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you guys still don't have any showings, I am more than happy to come in and help you guys get that home sold. So what I want to do is before you sell her home again, or before you list her home again, I want to meet with you just to show you what I can do. And if you decide to still not work with me, I mean, what am I trying to say here? The
worst thing.
The worst thing that can happen is that you have someone else's business plan that you could use. So do you think you would be open to something like that?
I mean, you're willing to do all that for free, Paul?
I'm willing to do all that for free because I really don't want a situation like that to happen, because I've had that happen before where, I had a good friend who wanted me to sell their home and I didn't sell it. And then, I told them, give me one more shot. Let me do it again. I got it. And I did it again and I didn't sell it again. And unfortunately, we're not friends anymore over the lack of a home selling. And I definitely don't want that to happen to you. And I'm not saying it will, but I want to make sure that it doesn't happen to you. So what I want to do is I want to meet with you. I want to show you what I can do. And I'm 100% confident that at the end of the day, when we're done meeting, you will be more than happy to have me team up with you to get her home sold so she can go where she needs to go. So your friendship is still intact and it's better than ever. And we both get paid, she gets paid, and it's a win-win for everybody.
So I was a little vague when I said you would do all that for free. I love how you basically completely ignored what I said. And you dropped like a couple little things. You get paid, I get paid.
Yeah.
I love how you did that. That was
we don't work for free, Bill.
That's right. And you could always just say, you could just laugh it off.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Paul, this is always just awesome.
I love doing these. I really love doing these.
So I love how you love sharing, and I love that you're happy to provide this opportunity for myself and for our group. And I just want to thank you for that. So keep up the good work, sir. I always love hanging out with you.
Awesome. Bill, likewise. And before we end the call, I want everyone in this phone call to take down my information and stop by the office and make some cold calls with me. I will help you with cold calls. I will help you with scripts. I will help you with anything. I will give you my number, my Facebook, my Instagram. Add me, message me, blow me up, call me, text me. Please reach out to me. Please come to the office. I will make cold calls with you, and I will help you do whatever you want to do. So please do that.
Beautiful.
Take back that offer.
What's that?
Do not take back that offer, because next week I'm going to email you and be like, hey.
Yes, do it. Ebony, I want you to.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.
See you guys.